Welcome back to my garden. It's evening now, and I've just been working some out in the garden. Ended up taking another week off. My wife had an unfortunate accident and badly sprained her ankle, so I've stuck around home to help her out. So I thought I'd give you another little update. As you can see in this bed that I put in last year, we have some spaghetti squash coming up now. And this is a Hugelkultur type bed. You can just see there the top of one log sticking out. There's about 6 different logs in there, and then compost over top of that, and then grass clippings over that. I still have to do some weeding here, but as you can see, the rhubarb is doing quite well. I had a spinach really take off there. I've got onions in. The pond is doing amazing. The cattails and the swamp grasses have just taken off in there. And as you can see, the swamp grasses have flowered and are putting themselves to seed. Here I have another small rhubarb that I planted this year. It'll take a year or two to take off really well. But the garden's doing quite well. Unfortunately, we haven't had much heat, so like I said in my previous video, and so everything's a little slow coming this year. These are banana potatoes. I'll have to hill them a little more. I'll be adding more compost over top so that they can grow up, because potatoes do not grow down, they grow up. So by adding more soil or compost or straw, you can get more potatoes by adding up. What I've been working on today is another garden bed around the top pond, which is basically going to be used to catch the water that runs off the pond so the plants can use them. The water will soak in and continue down the hill. Over time, this entire hill will be terraced right up to that other bed, thus hopefully catching as much water as we can coming off the house. It's also going to be a bit of a showcase for this sculpture, which my wife made herself. She's an artist, and so as well as being beautiful herself, she does beautiful artwork. And this is a piece she did when she was in high school years ago now, a few years ago, and we just picked it up the other day, and I will be building the bed around it. As you can see, I'm using the logs to line the bed. Again, they make a nice border. Over time they break down, retain water, and feed the bed as well. Again, going with Hugelkultur type thing, I had to trim my hedge up here. It doesn't look perfect, I know, but I was trimming dead branches out of it, as well as a few green ones that just were out of place. I haven't done a total trim to make it perfect, but just to clean it up a little bit. Here are the dead branches that I took out. They will make up the base for this bed, and they will also provide wood which will maintain the moisture, and as they rot, give off nutrients. In under here, the root clump from the spruce tree I took out the other day, the one that had died, the root clump I put in there. It's fairly acidic, so you don't want too much of the evergreen, but a little bit won't hurt too bad. Here what I have is a pile of mulch. This is some of the green leaves and branches from the caraganas that I just cut trimming the other day. This I will be putting on top of there. And then as you can see, I've been cutting my grass. It is one of the few gas-powered tools that I do use is my lawnmower. I use it to mulch up the hedge clippings and also to cut the grass and clover. As you can see, there's a little patch there. I let the clover go. I cut it a couple times a year, and I use it as a nitrogen fixer. So I will be using the grass clippings on top of here as well. And hopefully next year I'll be able to use this bed. So here we are. I have put the load of mulch that I showed you earlier that I took from my caragana hedge. You might see mainly the leaves and small woody pieces that I could cut up with a mower. I put on top of the larger dry twigs and sticks, and then I put a lawnmower bag of grass clippings in, and on top of that I put some partially composted grass clippings as well as some partially composted household compost. This will compost over the next year, and next year I should have a bed that I can plant in. As you can see, I'm using sheet mulching, laying down cardboard first, and then over top of that I put the branches, then the mulched leaves and twigs, then the grass clippings, and then the partially composted stuff. I'll leave this to compost for a year and then be able to plant in it, and as well as being a nice looking little addition to our yard and the pond, it will also be able to grow us food. This is also functional in that it takes the rainwater from the house, away from the house, down to the pond. From the pond, when it overflows, it will water this bed, and then it'll soak back into the ground and continue to water on down this hill to the other beds and to the other pond. Eventually there will be more terrace beds along here, and hopefully we'll be able to catch 100% of our water. I've also planted 2 small trees here. I'm not sure if I showed you in the other video. These were fence post holes where I planted them. The positive thing about this is that the holes went down about 4 feet. I filled them in a couple years ago, and now I'm planting trees here. I'm not sure how they'll do. Hopefully well, we'll see. And they should have soft soil to send a taproot down far because of being dug up a couple years ago for fence post holes. But I'd prefer a tree over a fence. So that's my garden update for today. Time to clean up my tools. I hope everyone has a great night.